Hey YouTube, Maddie's Daddy 12, Team JMT here with Sidekcker08. Um,
In the house.
in the house. Gonna bring you guys a little news video today. There's some rule changes coming our way, and we're gonna talk about those. But first, just a bit of business. Let you guys know that we are planning. Team JMT is planning at being at the Louisville Regional March the 12th. I believe we have 6 members that are going to be there.
Yeah, something like that. 5 or 6.
Um,
Plus a special guest.
Special guest, Maddie's mommy is going to be there. So all of you fans of Real Housewives of YuGiOh, make sure you're there because you'll finally get to meet my wife, Maddie's mommy. So yeah, there's your little update for Team JMT. So let's talk about the rule change. The rule change that is coming concerns player priority. March 19th, the OCG Japan will be getting their new structure deck, which will include a new rulebook. In this rulebook, it states that turn players will no longer be able to activate their effects, their monster effects, by player priority. So before we talk about what this means to the game, let's talk about what player priority actually is.
Player priority is the turn player's right. Say it's my turn and he's my opponent. It would be my right to activate my ignition effects upon summoning a monster or etc. So it's my right as turn player to activate the ignition effects, basically.
All right, and some misconceptions about priority is it's not something that you get to call or that you get to declare.
Yeah.
It's something you either have or you don't have. Okay, it aggravates me a lot whenever I'm sitting at the table and I listen to somebody saying I'm going to declare my priority. Well, it's not something you declare. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah. I mean, they can let you know that they're taking it. They're using their turn player priority to activate their effects. But if there's no effect to activate, they don't have priority.
Yeah. Okay. So, what kind of cards are affected by this?
Some examples of the cards.
Yeah.
The major thing that I've noticed and the key thing that can help you decide whether it does or does not have priority as of now, if the card does not read something to the means of when this card is summoned.
Like the monarchs or the gadgets.
Yeah.
Or
it'll say when this, like gadgets for example, when this card is summoned, it may be normal summon, special summon, whatever it may be, do this. It'll be search for a gadget for the monarchs. It'll either be, remove a card on the field or for chaos, rise up, bounce the card, etc. But the main thing is when this card is summoned. That's what I've come to realize about that. Anything that doesn't generally does not have priority.
Okay, a couple of cards that we've been talking about that are kind of similar in these aspects are Armageddon Knight and Dark Griffer. They basically serve the same purpose for you. One of them has priority and one of them doesn't.
Yeah. Armageddon Knight is one of them that reads when this card is normal summoned. When this card is normal summoned, select a dark in your deck, send it to your graveyard, whatever that card may be. With Dark Griffer, you normal summon it, or if you special summon it by sending a card of the monster from hand to graveyard. The player priority is whenever you summon, you're taking that priority to send a dark from your hand to the graveyard, to send a dark from your deck to the graveyard. With this new rule coming out, you will not have that priority to ditch the card from your hand to send the card from your deck to the graveyard.
So the two cards do something very similar by dumping the dark to the graveyard, but one of the biggest aspects of the two cards to remember is that Dark Griffer has 1700 attack, Armageddon Knight has 1400 attack.
Yeah.
So what does this mean as far as those two cards and answers that a player would have to you summoning those two?
Well, with I'm just gonna go ahead and use this with the Infernity deck. Grepper is an excellent choice in there because you don't have less cards in hand. But if say you get a Grepper and Necromancer and Archfiend in hand, something like that, you can dump one of them and have a good setup for next turn. But with the Armageddon Knight, you're not going to get to dump one of those two, and you're going to be stuck with those monsters. So right now, Grepper is an excellent choice. But if this new rule comes into play, you're going to summon Grepper if they go Book of Moon, Bottomless Trap Hole, whatever it may be, to stop the card from remaining on the field. And you're not going to get to dump anything if they get to remove it. But with the Armageddon Knight, he's definitely going to get underneath Bottomless either way it goes, with or without this rule. But with the Grepper, if you summon it Bottomless, you're still stuck with the cards in hand and nothing happens.
Yeah. If you summon Armageddon Knight, they Book of Moon it, you still get to dump.
Yes.
You summon, they're not able to hit it with Bottomless Trap Hole, and if they were able to hit it with Bottomless Trap Hole, you would still be able to dump.
Yeah, or even if they hit it with a Trap Hole.
Yeah.
Trap Hole is going to send you to the graveyard, but you're still going to get to dump the Dark Monster. Because it's, like I said, it's reading when this card is summoned.
So, what cards do you think this really affects the most in this meta?
Maybe not this meta as of now, but whenever is it new format change yet? Yeah, with the new ban list, you're going to 3 Chaos Sorcerer. That card gets hit because it does not say when this card is summoned. It just says, you can.
Yeah, it just says once per
yada,
turn.
yada, yada. With the 3 Chaos Sorcerer, with us still having 2 Bottomless and a single Book of Moon, we're going to be able to, if we have a Stardust on board and a set Book of Moon or Bottomless, they go remove Light and Dark for Chaos Sorcerer. We're going to be able to respond to that before they get to remove our Stardust with the Bottomless Trap Hole with the Book of Moon. Same goes with, the Dark Arm Dragon. That's game winning, like I was saying.
Yeah, it's a big swing.
Yeah, like cards that normally win games for you are not going to be able to do that anymore. Chaos Sorcerer, Dark Arm Dragon, Judgment Dragon for the Lightsworn players. One of the big ones right now, Lone Fire Blossom.
Yeah, Lone Fire Blossom. This rule change, I'll now be able to affect Valor, my opponent's Lone Fire Blossom, chain disappearance it, before they're able to go into Big Booty, Titanial.
Yeah, Big Booty.
Big Booty.
Yeah.
So I really feel this is really healthy for the game to make this change. I really feel that you're taking away, part of the argument for this game has always been that we've got completely overpowered cards.
And this decreases their
Yeah,
power.
this decreases a lot of stuff for us.
Majorly.
The problem that I see with this right now is that this is coming into effect for the OCG on March 19th.
Yeah.
There's been a letter sent out by Julia, which is the head of the judges through Konami, that says that this will not take effect in the TCG. It does not state that it will not come into effect eventually. The letter says that right now it will not change in the TCG.
Yeah, it's not saying that it will never change, which I think, I wish that we could all be together. I wish that they would make it to where Yu-Gi-Oh is same ban list, same set of rules. So whenever we go to a Nationals or a Worlds, everybody's not adjusting to a set of rules from here. If somebody in Europe or Japan, if they're in different rules or different ban lists, they're going to have to change what they're regularly playing and adjust to a new play style, new rules, stuff like that. So, in my opinion, I think that if they put a rule in effect for the OCG, they should also put it for the TCG.
That's an excellent point. We've already got a lot of player gaps when you start talking about the exclusive cards that we have, especially when you talk about Dark Soul and Recruiter.
Charge.
Yeah, Charge of the Light Brigade. All those cards were game-changing cards that were exclusive to us or exclusive to them, and it's just stuff that we didn't get or they didn't get, which made it harder whenever you came together for the World Tournament. Now you're talking about the OCG is going to be playing it under a completely different set of rules.
Yeah, I mean, if the TCG does not get this rule at all, which I doubt that would happen, I imagine we will get it sometime in the near future. But if we never get this rule, you know, Worlds is going to be so crazy because
I mean, it's I hate to compare it to something like this, but it's almost like the OCG playing softball and the TCG playing baseball. I mean, we're basically playing the same game,
Yeah.
but when you put them together and we try to play against each other, one's throwing underhanded and one's throwing overhanded. It's two completely different games. And I really feel like you have to bring this together. I don't feel like you can leave it open like that.
I do agree.
Do agree. Okay, guys. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Put together a response video. Comment down below. Give us your little rant and under it. Let us know, let us know what you guys think about this. Make sure you subscribe. Show us how much you love us. Make sure you look for us in Louisville also.